everybody, I'm Christina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about books, and there is one topic that I want to discuss with you because I want to know how you feel about it, what you think about it, and that is rereading books. So this year I've proclaimed is my rereading year. There are some series that I want to reread so badly and some standalones. I wanted to do that last year, but there were so many other books that I wanted to read, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna spend my time rereading a story that I already know if there are so many other books in my TBR. Well, wrong. Last year, I was in the worst reading slump that I can remember, like in my life. And you wanna know what cured that reading slump? Harry Potter. I was trying to read all of these books and I was just like, no, I just don't want to read anymore. I don't feel like reading. But going back to Hogwarts, going back to these characters and experiencing this story again made me want to read again. If Harry Potter was one of the books that inspired me to read in the first place, why not use Harry Potter to inspire me to read again? The reason why I'm making this video is because my family, especially my family, always complains like, Christy, you already read that book. What the hell are you doing?
Christy, you're reading that book again? What? Those hours you're investing reading that book that you have already read, you could invest in something else.
What I keep telling them is, how many times have you watched your favorite movie? If my dad loves a movie, he will watch it forever. And every single time he's watching that movie again, I'm like, oh, so you complain about me rereading a book, but you are rewatching that movie for how many times now? My brother has an obsession with Zelda, and he buys the same game for every console. The same game. Here are some examples. Zelda the Wind Waker for GameCube and for Wii U. Zelda the Twilight Princess for GameCube, for Wii, for Wii U. It's the same game but in HD. He just finished Zelda the Breath of the Wind. He finished this last week and he's already playing it again. And they don't understand why I reread books. It's the same. It applies to every single thing because if you love something, you don't mind doing it again. You don't mind experiencing it again. In fact, you want to experience the same thing over and over again because it made you happy once. So why would you want to be happy again? Last year, I reread Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone, and my reading slump was over. I also read City of Bones last year. This is the Spanish cover. Right now, I'm rereading The Mortal Instruments. These are all the books that I have right now, physical books. But my friends are like, Christy, if you read that book already, why are you buying it like the physical copy? If you have it already in your Kindle, in your phone, or in your computer. And I'm like, because I want to reread them again. And they're like, but you already read it. Yes, I did. So what? This year, I want to reread all the Harry Potter books, all the Mortal Instruments / Infernal Devices and / I always forget the name of the new series. The Dark Artifices. I want to reread the Lunar Chronicles. I want to reread the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I don't know how many times I've read this or this. And the thing is, why not? Why don't you understand that rereading is fun? I love rereading series, and that's because I get to experience the story again. Sometimes I don't reread a series for years, like for example the Mortal Instruments. I'm gonna use the Mortal Instruments a lot because it's the series that I'm currently rereading. I've never read the Mortal Instruments, like the entire series at once, because the books were coming out and each year I was reading each book. So now I get to marathon the entire series. I don't have to wait for the next book. And every single time I reread a book, I learn something different from that book. Either from a character, either from a problem, from the story. I discover little things that I didn't see the last time. And the good thing is, I get to feel again what I felt the first time that I read it. Maybe not all of it, because there's nothing like reading a book for the first time, especially if you love that book. But still, you're gonna feel something. It's guaranteed that you're gonna have fun. And it's like meeting with some old friends, because it's like, let's spend time with each other again. As I mentioned, they're great for reading slumps, because it's guaranteed that you're gonna have fun reading it. Also, there are always new formats to read a book. For example, the first 2 Harry Potter books that I reread, I listened to the audiobooks. It was a completely different experience than just reading the book. These are some of my favorite books from when I was growing up. Those are Memorias de Dune. They are from a Spanish author. And as you can see, they are huge. This is the 3rd book. I only own the 3rd book, like the physical copy. And they are 942 pages. They are like huge. But there are the graphic novels now. So I want to reread these books through the graphic novels. And finally, every single time you reread a book, you are in a different point in your life. You are older, you maybe are facing different problems or are in a different situation than when you read the book for the first time. For example, The Mortal Instruments again. As I've mentioned, the first time I read The Mortal Instruments was like 8 years ago. I remember I was the same age as Alec when I read the first one. And I was starting college. I was a totally different person back then. And right now I'm rereading these books and I'm like, oh, I understand so many things that people were complaining about. Like, for example, they complained a lot about Clary. I loved Clary. I was like, yeah, I understand why you complain, but stop complaining about her. Now that I'm rereading the books, I still love her, but I see your point. Now that I'm older, I get to understand so many other points of views, and I can see some flaws in some characters that I didn't see before, and I get to appreciate some details even more, or some characters even more. I think differently. And it's so interesting to see this story with different eyes. And that's gonna happen every single time. It's not the same reading Harry Potter when you're growing up than reading it now. So there you go. I know there are so many other books that you can read. I know there are lots of books coming. But still, I just think that you need to give yourself permission to relive this amazing story that you already love. If you want to reread a book, don't feel guilty about it. I mean, just go ahead and read it. And that's it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe depending on where you're watching this. And let me know in the comments what you think about this topic. Do you like rereading books? Are you totally against it? I'm Christina. Thanks for watching. I make videos every Tuesday. See you later. Bye!